In this video, we'll be doing the next 10 questions from 11 till 20 from the paper October-November 2021, variant 1-1. Question 11. The relative atomic mass of chlorine is 35.5. What is the mass of 2 moles of chlorine gas? Chlorine gas is basically Cl2. So 1 mole of chlorine gas is going to be basically 35.5 into 2, which is actually 71 grams. So one mole is 71 grams. So 2 moles of chlorine gas is going to be 142 grams. That's answer D. Question number 12. Methane burns in oxygen, giving you carbon dioxide and water. 10 cm cube of methane reacts with 25 cm cube of oxygen. So the 10 cm cube of methane is reacting with 25. And because the ratio is 1:2, so actually 10 cm cube will react with 20 cm cube of oxygen, जबकि हमें 25 दिया हुआ है. So that means the 5 cm cube of oxygen is going to be in excess. Right now, what is the question? What is the volume, total volume of gas that would be measured after the reaction? So considering this fact, we have 10 cm cube of methane reacting with 20 cm cube on the basis of ratio. Then carbon dioxide, we are again getting in the ratio of 1, and this is a liquid, so we will not include water at all. So on the basis of 1:1 ratio, we will be having 10 cm cube of carbon dioxide formed. They both have completely been consumed. So 10 plus 5 will be making 15 cm cube of the total gas, which will be left after the reaction. Question number 13. An aqueous solution is made by dissolving 3.4 grams of sodium hydroxide NaOH, whose MR is basically 40. 23 plus 16 plus 1, that's 40. To make 500 cm cube of solution. So that means we have 3.5 grams in 500 cm cube. तो अगर हम इसकी gram concentration निकालें तो per dm cube we will be having 3.4 into 2, that makes 6.8 grams per dm cube is going to be my gram concentration, is going to be the gram concentration of the solution of NaOH. What are they asking us? What is the concentration in mole per dm cube of sodium hydroxide? तो अब हम इस ग्राम कॉन्सेंट्रेशन को मोल कॉन्सेंट्रेशन में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं बाय द फॉर्मूला मोल्स इक्वल टू मास of the substance divided by its MR. So we have 6.8 divided by MR, which is 40. We will be getting the answer 0.17. So we will molar concentration is going to be a molar concentration, or mole per dm cube concentration is going to be 0.17 moles per dm cube. So that means we have an answer C over here. Correct option is C. Question number 14, which statement about electrolysis reaction is correct? Now bromine is being formed at the anode. Anode पे हमेशा जो है वो anions जाते हैं, और cathode पे आपके जो है कैथोड पे जो है हमेशा cations जाते हैं, और cations they are basically positively charged. तो cathode is basically your negative terminal, is attached to the negative terminal of the battery. Anions are your negatively charged ions, and hence they will the anode is basically attached to the positive terminal of the battery. ये आपको this you need to remember. Anode पे हमेशा oxidation होता है और cathode पे हमेशा आपका reduction होता है process. Now after understanding these key facts, let's move ahead with the question 14 A, B, C, D part. Let's read it. Bromine is formed at the anode. Bromine जो है वो bromide ions के तौर पे anode पे जाएगा when lead bromide is electrolyzed. It's a molten lead bromide. तो यहाँ पर आपके पास कोई rival ion नहीं है. So according to the fact which is given to us, that's absolutely correct statement. This is what is going to happen. आगे भी हम देख लेते हैं. Positive ions are discharged at the positive electrode. गलत, क्योंकि यहाँ पर मैंने आपको बताया है कि अगर positive ions होंगे, they will be moving toward the negative terminal of to the electrode which is attached to the negative terminal. So this is wrong. Sodium is formed at the cathode when an aqueous, अब यहाँ पर ये aqueous है, तो अब आपके पास यहाँ पर rival ion है, हाइड्रोजन आयन और Na आयन्स है. इन दोनों में से जो प्रेफरेंशियली डिस्चार्ज, जो इलेक्ट्रोकेमिकल सीरीज में नीचे है, वो प्रेफरेंशियली डिस्चार्ज होगा. दैट्स द हाइड्रोजन आयन विल बी डिस्चार्ज एंड हाइड्रोजन गैस विल बी फॉर्म. So C is incorrect. Sulfur dioxide is formed as a gas when dilute sulfuric acid is electrolyzed. So यहाँ पर you have the two rival ions, you have hydroxide ions and you have the sulfate ions. इन दोनों rival ions में से sulfate कभी भी किसी भी सिनेरियो में डिस्चार्ज नहीं होता, चाहे वो आपका डाइल्यूट हो या आपका कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड हो. तो हाइड्रोक्साइड आयंस जब भी डिस्चार्ज होते हैं, दे विल बी प्रोड्यूसिंग ऑक्सीजन गैस. So this is again incorrect. So we have question number 14. We have the correct answer. That is A. Coming to question number 15, we have a setup being shown to us. इस setup के अंदर ये आपका negative electrode है, ये आपका positive electrode है. तो basically this is basically is going to be your this negative electrode. So this is basically a copper cathode. ठीक है, जिसकी तरफ आपके cations आएंगे. और ये आपका पॉजिटिव इलेक्ट्रोड है, दिस इज गोइंग टू बी योर एनोड. और हमने देखा है कि जब भी हमारे पास दिस इज अ सेटअप जहां पर इलेक्ट्रोप्लेटिंग हो रही है, इलेक्ट्रोप्लेटिंग और इलेक्ट्रो रिफाइनिंग. ठीक है, इलेक्ट्रोप्लेटिंग और इलेक्ट्रो रिफाइनिंग आर द एप्लीकेशंस ऑफ इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस, जहां पर हमारे पास एक्टिव एनोड होता है. दैट मीन्स जिस सब्सटेंस का आपके पास एनोड है वो अपने ही सॉल्ट सॉल्यूशन में डिप्ड होता है. तो इसके अंदर आप यहाँ पे इन्होंने देयर इज अ फ्लॉ इन दिस डायग्राम कि इन्होंने कॉपर का कैथोड लिया है, उसको अपने ही सॉल्ट सॉल्यूशन में डिप किया है, जबकि ये एक्टिव एनोड के फॉर्म में एक्ट करेगा. तो इसके अंदर ये कॉपर कैथोड पे नहीं होना चाहिए था, ये कॉपर इनफैक्ट एनोड पे होता, तब ये एक्टिव एनोड के तौर पे वर्क करता और तब इलेक्ट्रोप्लेटिंग या इलेक्ट्रो रिफाइनिंग होती. सो देयर इज एन एरर हियर इन दिस पर्टिकुलर डायग्राम. लेट्स प्रोसीड फर्दर. लेट्स सी व्हाट दे आर आस्किंग. The key does not get coated with the copper. Why the key is not being coated with the copper? Because this is not acting as a copper anode, which is mandatory for electroplating or electro refining. Which chain need to be made to the plate? Made to plate the key. So let's see what should be the correct option. The increasing the concentration of aqueous copper sulfate. ये तो जरूरी नहीं है क्योंकि coating ही नहीं होगी. Increase the voltage, that's again is unnecessary step. Replacing the solution with dilute sulfuric acid, again unnecessary. The reverse electrical connection, yes, जो आपका cathode है उसको basically anode होना चाहिए था और जो एनोड है उसको आपका कैथोड होना चाहिए था, तभी जो है वो कॉपर आयंस जो है वो सॉल्यूशन में आते और कॉपर आयंस जो है वो फ्रॉम द सॉल्यूशन दे वुड हैव कोटेड द बेसिकली द की हियर. Question number 16. Now 16, which process is the endothermic? Endothermic reactions are those reactions where the heat is taken in, or exothermic are those where the heat is given out. We need to understand this. Now in terms of endothermic and exothermic, these are the few facts we need to understand, that the endothermic reactions are those reactions where energy is taken in, right? So energy is being taken in. When we talk about the exothermic reaction, there the energy is liberated out, it's given out. That is the reason जो beaker होता है वो warm हो जाता है जब उस reaction फ्लास्क के अंदर रिएक्शन हो रहा है और वो एक्सोथर्मिक है, तो बिकॉज एनर्जी इज बीन लिबरेटेड आउट. So this is the first fact. Then we have studied in the terms of bond making and bond breaking that whenever the bond is being broken down, जब ये bond breaking होती है तो आपको energy लगा के उनको तोड़ना होता है. They need to break down and that's why the bond breaking is always endothermic. और bond making जब होती है तो वो energy liberate कर रही होती है. That's an exothermic. Understanding these two very important facts, let's proceed with the question. It says that which process is endothermic. We have to identify which process is. Now atom bonding to form a molecule, तो basically यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा है, यहाँ पर bond making हो रही है. अब bond making का मतलब है कि this is going to be your exothermic, right? तो A incorrect है. The chemical reaction occur in a fuel cell. तो fuel cell में क्या होता है, आपका chemical reaction की वजह से energy liberate out हो रही है. तो that means it's again an exothermic reaction. We have to look for an endothermic. So B is again incorrect. The reaction of the carbon dioxide and water to produce glucose and oxygen. So यहाँ पर आपका ये photosynthesis है and you're taking the sun heat in order to proceed with this particular reaction. So yes, this is basically you are required any form of energy which is needed for that reaction is basically endothermic, right? So we are using the sun energy for this particular process. So C is an endothermic. The reaction of methane with oxygen. So methane is burning, is undergoing a combustion. It's again is going to liberate energy. That's again going to be exothermic. So D is again incorrect. So the correct answer is your C. Question number 17 is again related to the exothermic and endothermic reactions. The reaction of hydrogen with chlorine to form gaseous hydrogen chloride is an exothermic reaction. And exothermic reaction are denoted with delta minus sign. ठीक है, सो माइनस साइन मीन दे आर एक्सोथर्मिक इन नेचर. और अभी हम लास्ट क्वेश्चन में पढ़ चुके हैं कि आपके जब भी बॉन्ड मेकिंग होती है, whenever the bond making take place, they are considered as an exothermic reaction. So the total energy, the option A says the total energy of bond formation is greater than bond form हो रहा है, bond making हो रही है, and it's greater than the total energy needed for bond breaking. So yes, that is going to be an exothermic exothermic change, because overall making में ज़्यादा energy liberate हो रही है, then it's needed for breaking of the bond on the reactant side. Option B, the total energy of the bond breaking is greater, तो bond breaking ज़्यादा है as compared to bond making, so this is going to make the reaction endothermic, not an exothermic. The temperature of the reaction mixture falls during the reaction. Again, it's taking the energy from the surrounding. अगर वो fall कर रहा है, overall reaction flask जहाँ पर reaction हो रहा है उसका temperature fall down हो रहा है, that is again an indication for endothermic. The temperature of the reaction mixture remains unchanged, तो ये कोई indication नहीं है, ना तो ये exothermic की indication है या ना ही endothermic की. That means यहाँ पर कोई exchange of energy नहीं हो रहा. ठीक है, so according to this we have the A, which is a correct option. Coming to question 18, the equation shows the reaction of the manufacture of ammonia. Ammonia has been manufactured when nitrogen and hydrogen react together under certain conditions. कुछ temperature, pressure conditions होती हैं, ठीक है, और catalyst होता है जिसकी presence में ammonia होता है, and it's a reversible reaction. Now let's see what's the demand of the question. Which change will decrease the activation energy? अब हमें मालूम है कि आपके कुछ फैक्टर्स होते हैं जो कि एक्टिवेशन एनर्जी के लिए हमें मालूम है कि इट्स अ कैटलिस्ट. Catalyst क्या करता है? It reduces the demand for the activation energy by giving the alternate pathway. So they only decrease the activation energy. बाकी कोई भी factor activation energy की need. What is an activation energy? It's amount of energy which is needed for the reactants to react together. तो catalyst की presence में ये need for the activation energy decrease हो जाती है. This is a fact we have learned in Olympus. So we'll be looking for an option which talk about the catalyst. So addition of a catalyst, yes, that will decrease the need for an activation energy because it's going to give an alternate pathway. So that's the correct option A. Decreasing the temperature will not, increasing the concentration will not, and increasing the pressure will not. So we have the correct option A, which is the answer for this question. Question number 19 is about redox reactions. Which statement about the oxidation and reduction are correct? So the reduction can involve the loss of oxygen. Yes, that's correct. Because when you remove the oxygen, that's basically reduction. When you remove the hydrogen, that's, yes, that's oxidation. But if you remember the mnemonic rig and oil, when we talk about the reduction, redox reaction की चार definitions होती है. तो थर्ड डेफिनेशन इज ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसफर. जब हम इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसफर की बात करते हैं तो रिडक्शन इज बेसिकली द गेन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन. जब आप गेन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन करते हैं तो हम उसको रिडक्शन कहते हैं. और जब आप लॉस ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन की बात करते हैं तो हम उसको ऑक्सीडेशन कहते हैं. तो रिडक्शन कैन इन्वॉल्व द लॉस ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन. तो ये डेफिनेशन अकॉर्डिंग टू द ट्रांसफरेंस ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन के बेस पे ये रिडक्शन की डेफिनेशन इनकरेक्ट है. सो द फर्स्ट and the second definition of reduction and oxidation is correct. So we have the option A correct for the question number 19. Okay, question number 20 says that ammonium nitrate decomposes when heated. This is an equation given for it. In this salt, the anion is, what is an anion? Anions are basically the negatively charged particles. So here in this particular salt, we have the anion, which is basically NO2 negative. Why negative? Because we have ammonium ion, which is positively charged, right? So anion is the negative ions. The nitrogen atom in 2 ion are oxidized during the reaction. So let's see which is going to be oxidized. अगर हम ammonium ion के अंदर अगर हम ammonium ion को देखें तो during the reaction ammonium ion they are converting into nitrogen. तो अब मैं nitrogen atom का oxidation number calculate करती हूँ. तो oxidation number calculate करने के लिए ammonium ion जो है is equals to +1 because जो भी charge एक आयन के होता है ऊपर होता है वो उसका ओवरऑल ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट बन जाता है. ठीक है. अब वी नीड टू फाइंड आउट फॉर नाइट्रोजन. तो नाइट्रोजन को हम अज्यूम करते हैं एज एक्स. हाइड्रोजन का वी नो कि हाइड्रोजन का ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर जो होता है दैट्स टेकन एज +1 other than hydrides. ठीक है. Hydrides हमारे syllabus में नहीं है, which are -1. So this is how many hydrogen atoms are there? There are 4. So +1 multiplied by 4 equals to +1. So value of x is going to be -3. So basically nitrogen की यहाँ पर जो oxidation state है that is basically -3. -3 से जो है ये change हो रहा है 0. So there's an increase in oxidation state. An increase in oxidation state, oxidation number is basically is oxidation. ठीक है. तो यहाँ पर अगर हम देखें तो we will be having the answer option C is the correct option क्योंकि NO2 negative is an anion, and here we can easily see that the ammonium ion when converted to nitrogen, the nitrogen atom's oxidation state is changing from -3 to 0, which is proving that the nitrogen atom is being oxidized, which is a demand of the question. So we have the option C, the correct option for this particular question.